Can you hear me? Just refresh. Hello. 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 Is there anybody there? Oh, well, if I don't know if we're live. Well, yeah. Well, if we are, I'll talk for a bit. Let me know in the comments section if we are live. Jim is off poorly. He's had a tooth pulled, which can be quite a horrific thing. And we've got some good guests on tonight. We have got, I believe, Peter Bloom talking about the Heartland conference that we were just at, and what a great experience it was. And I believe Claudia is on talking about a funny story. I'm currently in Weymouth, down in the south coast of the UK. Just finished an interesting show tonight. I've just got back to the hotel getting ready for Hypno News Live. I'm just going to keep going as if we are live. But I am on my phone rather than on my laptop, so it's difficult to see. Jim is away, so we've got Sean this week as well. Sean has filled in for us many a time, which is always a great show with Sean. So I'll be interested to see how this show is, whether it is live or not. Let me just, I don't know how I can test. Oh, I can see something on there, but when I go on it, it's black screen, so my comment has appeared on there. So yeah, I'm going to assume we are live then. There we go. Hypno News, hang on. Well, hello. So we must be live then. I'm waffling on. So yes, I'm currently coming live from the phone. So as I was saying, we've got, I do believe we've got some guests joining us tonight, but I don't have the control. So we'll see how that works out. And we'll be talking about the Heartland Conference as well as some other stuff as well. So there we go. It's just I've just got a message coming through. I try to tell I can see you, but I don't think you can see or hear me. This is Peter. Hi, Peter. I can see you in the chat. I can't see you in the screen. I think Sean has got the control. There we go. There he is. Peter, how are you? I can't hear you at the moment. See if we can sort out your audio. There we go. We can hear you now, Peter. How are you?
Good. Glad to be on the screen.
It's fantastic to have you on as well. I mean, the last time we saw each other, you were forking me at dinner. Oh, we've lost you again. Oh, sorry, we appear to have lost your audio again there, Peter. Oh, you're back again.
I said, do you want to go public with this kind of stuff?
So yeah, I mean, how was the conference for you? Oh, it seems every time you go into the other screen, it is muting your audio.
Is there something I can do on my controls to change that?
Whatever you're doing now is perfect.
Okay. All right. So the conference, it was my first time there. You've been there before, and
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's a small conference, but very heartfelt, as it is the Heartland, and very friendly. And I've been telling my friends I met a strange cross section of people because of trickle down, because William Mitchell is both a preacher and a stage hypnotist. So demographically, there was an inordinately large percentage of Christians and stage hypnotists, and that's not typical for conferences I go to. But it was fine. I like different.
Yeah,
Same is always, it gets boring if it's always the same.
Yeah, one of the things that's great about Heartlands is that you've kind of got the business track, the therapy track, the metaphysical track, and the stage track. So it caters for all the different kind of elements to it, and it does it really well. I mean, like our paths crossed, and it was just amazing. A highlight of my conference was kind of meeting you and doing the whole tuning forks and stuff like that. So, and hearing some of your stories as well.
That Monday, which was if I had been, oh gosh, nobody signed up for my post-conference class. What a bummer. I'm going to go sulk. But no, instead, I just said, well, here we are. We're all hanging out. And you had one, a very small attendance in your class, and the other lovely woman from Maine, not Amber.
Amber
Rose also had nobody sign up for her. So in a sense, it was a bust, but in another sense, it created an opportunity for us all. There we are, all in the cafeteria, hanging out and schmoozing, which is, I think, I wanted to write a book one time called The Art of Therapeutic Schmoozing.
The Art of Therapeutic Schmoozing, absolutely. And Natalie's in the comments as well. Monday was absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So where is Jim? Is he not joining tonight, or is he out of commission?
Jim is out of commission. He's had a tooth pulled this afternoon or this evening. Okay. And so he is normally here, and I'm literally on the road on the way back from a gig myself, so that was quite interesting. So I mean, tell us a little bit about, like the tuning forks and the singing bowls. What was your inspiration for kind of taking that onto the conference room?
Well, that's who I am. That's part of my shtick. That's a large. I've been a sort of one of the things you talk about with budding hypnotists is finding your niche. What is your niche, right? And for a long time, I'm that guy that does the tuning forks came later. This is a relatively recent addition within the last, I would say, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
But for the last, whoops.
Oh, we've lost your audio again. 1 second. I'm sure Sean can click a button somewhere. The joys of live. Maybe it's the tuning forks. The frequency has killed it. Can you hear me? Right, I'll see if we can figure out what's going on with your audio. Oh, there we go.
Yep, all right. Yep. Am I back?
You are back.
All right. Well, there we have it. All right. So I have had a relationship with these instruments, starting with about 40 years ago with the singing bowls, sometimes called Tibetan singing bowls, but they're actually, that's a misnomer. They're actually
Oh. We appear to have lost his audio again, I believe. Oh, wow. Well, it's we'll try and figure this out. I don't know if there's anything I can do from within my side here. Sorry about this, Peter. We will figure it out. I think it needs hitting with a hammer. If we can hit it with a hammer, it might make it work. No. Oh. I'm just trying to think if we can press something on here. Whether Sean can work his magic from where he is. Oh, it's just me and you now, Peter. You try to speak now, see if I can hear you. No, that's not worked. See, it all goes to pot when Jim's not here. Try now, I can hear something. Can I hear you? No, I can't hear you. This is a shame. All right, there's nothing I can do on this side. So hopefully we'll get Peter's audio back any second now. Yeah, I do apologise for this, Peter. Peter, can you drop your website in the chat as well? I'll make sure we get that into the comment section. Oh, there you go. Your audio's back.
Am I back?
You are back.
Yes. All right. Well, while I have a chance, I'm soundsforhealing.com.
Soundsforhealing.com.
Yeah, putting in the chat room right now, www.soundsforhealing.com. So this little item here is a new creation, and each one of these is a singing bowl, as I was referring to, and they're joined in the center here in a very ingenious manner. You see there's a little bolt there in the center that has this pole connecting the two of them, and each one of them makes a sound, and when they're sounded together simultaneously, it's a very harmonious sound. So, you know, I've been exploring the effects of sounds on consciousness and and trying to make a link for 35 years, ever since I got involved with hypnosis, between the effects of sound and this field that didn't exist 35 years ago, but now has become very overnight, very, very popular, called sound healing.
Mm.
A lot of people, you know, doing this, and a lot of people that don't understand that when they play these instruments, and people go to these sound baths, sound immersions, sound experiences, and they lay down, and people play gongs and crystal bowls and tuning forks and metal bowls and other instruments that in fact what they're doing is a nonverbal induction of hypnotic state.
Yeah.
They don't have that framework, they don't have that understanding of it, because they've never been trained in hypnosis. So I for a long time I was the guy going to hypnosis conferences and trying to convert hypnotists into, like, the religion of sound healing. Not really literally convert, but introduce them to this, as these are valuable tools that you can use along with spoken inductions. How do we get people into trance? Usually a visual fixation of attention, like go stare at a wall, spot on the wall, or spinning disc, or look into my eyes, or follow my finger. These are visual fixation of attention, but we can do it through an auditory fixation of attention as well.
Yeah.
And that's what, when people are lost in listening to a favorite symphony, doesn't have to be something esoteric. It can be, anything. And they just say, I didn't know where I was. I had my eyes closed and I was just swept away by the music of this, my favorite show tunes, or any form of music. So there are cultures historically who have developed different types of music that were kind of consciously meant to induce a trance state. If you go to Indonesia, for instance, Balinese gamelan music, or the raga systems of India, or certain kinds of African drumming that goes on for hours, and people go into a trance, or Native American people will drum and chant for hours, and people go into an altered state, and hopefully they experience a healing.
Yeah.
So that's the intention, is with these sounds. And so I was going and to hypnosis conferences and telling people about, you should learn about these things, even if you never get trained musically. Some of them are very, very simple. And for instance, the tuning forks, which I started bringing and using in my own practice and introducing to people, because they're very simple and anyone can do it. You don't have to have any musical training. And so that going to hypnotists and telling them about the effects of sound and music. And I started to get invited, to at various hypnosis conferences. I began by just 30 years ago, going and inviting people back to my room at the hotel, because there was no, it was just like, come over, and I'd have a few things, and have this experience in my room. It was my wanting to offer this.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I want to turn you on to it. And then
Yeah.
word got out, and slowly, I was at a number of conferences. I was one of the featured attractions. They would say, on Friday night or Saturday night after the awards banquet, or after the reggae band, you can go and lay down and have a singing bowl concert. And it became a big, it was very popular. It still is. So I'm going. One of the things that Jim had asked me to talk about was next weekend, not this coming one, but a week from today, Thursday, I'm flying down to Orlando, Florida, for the IACT IMDHA conference, which is a pretty big conference. For those, is this going out live, or were people watching it?
This is going out live now. Yeah, William Mitchell's in the comment section. He says thank you as well. Natalie as well says about the singing bowls, how they're everywhere now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robert and Linda Otto, who run this International Association of Counselors and Therapists / International Medical and Dental Hypnosis Association, and you can say that 3 times fast, you win a special prize. But they run this conference, and I go every year, and I bring 2 big suitcases filled with pounds and pounds of instruments that I can play for people in a concert there. That is my gift to the conference. So it's a free offering. And then sometimes I'll teach a class on basic tuning, tuning your clients. I did one of those at the Heartland conference, tuning your clients. And yeah, just a basic introduction to how to use the forks. But I bring here's another instrument. I'm going to go off screen for a second so that I can get you to show you.
And one of the things I'll just tell them as well, like my kind of introduction to you, like that was the first time I'd experienced anything like that. And so if it wouldn't have been for Heartlands, I'd have not known about it. But I'm fascinated by it now.
It's very interesting. So over there in merry old England, I know that there's some people doing this stuff over there, but you just haven't crossed paths.
There will be, but it's kind of like it puts it into that, the woo-woo element of hypnosis, which is not a path that I go down too much. But because of the way that Heartlands is set up, where there's such a cross mix of people there, it meant that our paths did cross. And then I'm kind of like for so long, I've not really looked into any of this stuff, but for now, I'm like, actually, it's amazing.
Well, people are drawn to the field of hypnosis for different, follow different path that leads them there. And what I found fascinating was meeting. I sort of always avoided the stage hypnosis stuff for whatever reasons. It didn't interest me. I don't want to get into anything controversial now, because what I'm saying is that by virtue of just hanging out with you and Jim and that lovely fella from the Netherlands, Jeff, and a couple other people, and just I'm pretty good friends with Paul Ramsey.
Paul's a great guy.
Paul's a great guy, and he calls me uncle. I have a relationship with him, sort of like a avuncular, which is a great word, a great underutilized word. It means like an uncle. But sort of like because I've been in this field for since 1985, so going on 40, 38 years, a long time. Wow. And I was never the guy who my training was in the therapeutic, clinical, medical therapeutic applications of hypnosis. Oh, Sean says, I have audio now, Grant. Something up with my camera. Okay. In the chat, in the comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, Sean, who has Jim's picture. It's very, very confusing, but he looks like a brick wall. It says wave.video. There he is, and he's gone. Anyway, this is like a magic show. Now you see it.
It is like a magic show. So I'm going to pull a rabbit out in a minute.
But anyway, the entertainment value of stage hypnosis, and the argument has always been, yes, people come to be entertained, and then they're intrigued. And I know a lot of stage hypnotists who then build their practice of working with individuals for therapeutic issues based on having been seen first doing stage hypnosis. But it was just fascinating for me, because you guys were the most interesting people at the conference for me.
Well, you and Natalie were the most interesting people at the conference for me.
Yeah.
So it's great how we all resonated together, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, because bright and humorous and fun-loving people. I don't care what they're. I had this young man come to me like 10, 11 years ago. He was the youngest person I ever trained in hypnosis. He was in high school. He was a senior in high school, and
wow.
his one of the faculty people at his school, small private school, contacted me and said, there's a very bright young man, and he's doing his senior project on hypnosis, and we need somebody who will kind of oversee him and supervise, and would you do that? because I'm in the community here, and I did, and I met him, and I was there's a little comment from Natalie. Thank you. I was fascinated by uh, him because he said he had been doing mentalism and magic since he was 12.
Wow.
So here he is, 17. He's already a fully developed, in and confident at doing this, like a little midget running around doing this stuff. It was quite, like quite a prodigy. I was very
Yeah.
impressed, and I trained him. I oversaw his senior project. And I said, he said, I'm interested in getting more training, and I said, I can't do what you do. I don't know how you do it. I love it, but I don't know how you know what people are thinking. He said, it's all tricks. I said, well,
Yeah.
but I'm still impressed. But he wanted
Yeah.
to train with me, and he ended up, I had to meet with his parents because they were vetting me. They're both, psychologists, his mother and father. And they said, look, we're giving him this as a graduation present. We want to make sure you're, not some quack. But
Yeah.
we have maintained a friendship, and I'm very proud of him because he's gone on and he's kind of left a lot of that stuff behind. He's not so interested in doing. He's really interested, and I said the real magic for me is when somebody breaks an old pattern.
Yeah.
When so,
And
right?
do you know what? I came into it through therapy and then ended up doing the entertainment stuff, and then that was my passion for so long. But I
Yeah,
think everyone, when they reach a certain level of success on the stage stuff, the entertainment stuff, we do want more. We want to be able to have some real magic to make a positive change with people. So,
yeah,
you know,
totally.
I'm leaning that way more than I ever have done now.
Yeah, I have couched it for myself and for those I've trained hundreds of people, and I say for me, it is a spiritual art form,
Mm,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
it is both spiritual and an art form. I mean, you can go other places and they'll train you as a clinician. They'll, and it's very like, no, this is not. You don't have to be spiritual at all, and that works for some people. It's just very much of a formulaic thing. But for me, no, it is entering into spirit with people.
Yeah.
I believe in the model of co-trance,
Yeah.
right? And for me, that's half the fun. Is I get to go into trance all the time when I work with people, you know. So
It was so nice for me to, like, when you first approached me about the tuning forks, I'm like, would you like to experience it? I'll
yeah,
be honest, kind of went to it kind of like, oh well, what's this going to be?
yeah,
But
very,
I loved everything about it, even to the point of the story about the different frequencies that they were at, and the pitches, and the presentation of how they're done, just the tapping on the knee and then putting them either side of the ear. The
yeah.
ritual of doing that was so hypnotic in and of itself. Brilliant.
Yes, you're there. There is certainly um, a lot to what you noticed there. That it is, um, and I've given a lot of thought to this, the importance of ritual.
Mm,
And I had some back and forth with Michael Watson, who's the main trainer for IACT IMDHA, and he and I both have similar backgrounds in training with in neurolinguistic programming, NLP, which some people have some understanding of or incorporate that into their hypnotic practice. And um, he said John Grinder, who was one of the founders of NLP, had said in order to get a therapeutic change, you needed two things. You needed a ritual and you needed to be congruent.
mm,
So for those who don't know or aren't familiar with that, it's a phrase. I think it was taken from engineering, but they moved it over into the field of human behavior and communication, and they said when you're congruent, your actions, your expression, your tone of voice all match up, are in alignment with the words you're saying. And we
yeah.
know when somebody's incongruent,
Yeah.
sometimes called lying or not really believing in what you're saying, or but when somebody's congruent, where they're charismatic. They hold
Yeah.
our attention, right? They're powerful, and you probably would. Hazarding a guess that would be one of the qualities that you would work on in your stage
Absolutely.
work,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Peter, it's been awesome to have you on. It's hopefully our paths will cross again at another conference. I know definitely I'll be checking out your website. Can people purchase the tuning forks and the singing bowls from your website as well?
They can find my book, Transonics, that I wrote. Here it is, Transonics, the vital link between hypnosis, sound healing, and the tuning forks. The basic ones are on my website. And,
Awesome.
I will be down in Orlando, Florida. There's still time for people to sign up if they want to go there. And it's a nice conference. And, there's lots of good people to meet and stuff. I'll be presenting a number of different things there. So thank you for having me on as a guest and allowing me to spout my pearls of wisdom.
Awesome. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Sorry about the technical issues earlier on, but we're managing to get through that. But yeah, Peter Bloom from soundsforhealing.com. Check out his website. And Peter, we will see you again soon. I believe we have got Claudia coming on, who's got a funny story for us soon as well. Sean's just going to work his magic, and there it is. And there is Claudia. Claudia, how are you?
I'm good. And hi, Peter. How are you? So yeah, how's things, Grant?
All right, just about. It feels weird, me and you talking, and nobody's laughing, nobody's crying. Nobody's getting into trouble.
I know. Well, we can get into trouble. That's fine.
Exactly.
So you want to hear my funny story?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so what happened? I had this. This was years ago. Okay, so probably talking about 8 years ago, and this man he called me up and he wanted me to see his son. And yes, of course, because he was having a few difficulties. Not a problem. So I saw his son, and he was, it was about golf, and it was about girlfriends and schoolwork and blah blah blah. Anyway, and then so we set up another appointment, and then his dad called me again. He said, I want to see you because I want to just see what you're doing with him. I want to check it. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And anyway, he comes in and he sits in one of the chairs opposite me, and he puts his leg over the side of the chair, okay, bearing his frontal parts at me.
Oh,
I know. And I'm like going, oh, okay. I mean, he didn't say that, obviously. And I'm just thinking, And then he says, go make me a cup of tea, will you? And I'm like, okay. But I mean, I always have water there. I always have water for my clients. Yeah. And it was just anyway, I got him some tea, brought it back in a mug, and I was really annoyed because I didn't have a mug with a big cockerel on it. But anyway,
I mean, you've always got to have a big cockerel mug.
I am going to invest in the cockerel mug. I do have a little espresso one with a cockerel on it, but I didn't have a big mug with it. So, but anyway, I gave him one with a ram on it though, because to me, I was like thinking, well, you can ram this up, but anyway, so it was quite funny. But anyway, he was sort of just telling me everything that he wanted me to do with his son. Yeah. Okay. Of course he was. And then and he was saying, well, tell me what you do, what you've done with him. So I sat down, I showed him some diagrams that I draw. And I said, and as I was going through them, I said, so do you have an inner critical voice? And he said, no, I don't have one of those. And I thought, I know you don't. You just wouldn't have one, would you? It's always everybody else's issue, and it's always everybody else. And then all he did was moan and blame all these other people, his secretary, his wife. Yeah, you ought to see them because they get so like this. They're like this, they're like that, and I'm like going, And anyway, so I mean, I only because he wanted to see what I was doing with his son. But hence why his son has probably got a few issues. But his son is also, because he's not like his dad went to Cambridge. His dad went to, and his son didn't even get into Durham. You know, he was only going to Newcastle, and I'm like, you know, oh gosh, all this expectation.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Anyway, you know what that's like. So it was, but it was just quite amusing. I've never ever had anybody else ever do that. Present themselves, leg over the side, full frontal.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Bless them. Old school masculinity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
At its
I
finest.
know. And damn, I didn't have that big cockerel mug.
Yeah, getting a big cockerel mug. So yeah, I mean it's great. And we were just talking about Heartlands. I mean, how was Heartlands for you as well?
Heartlands. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was,
Yeah.
you know, it was just everybody so friendly and kind and welcoming.
Yeah.
Just learned so much from other people. I loved it. Absolutely loved seeing some of the. I loved seeing Larry Garrett. You know, a legend, and just sharing his wisdom. So actually, I've been using that a lot because I don't know if you were in one of his things, but he was talking about the flow. Of going into hypnosis. So I've like saying that's actually, we do that every day. And as we're in beta right now, we're in beta. And funny enough, I was reading this in the Silver Method. Have you ever read one of those books, the Silver Method, Mind Control?
Yeah.
So, and it's funny enough, it's something that I do in sleep talk as well, explaining to the parents that we need the child to be in alpha and theta when we're going to be doing this. The parent gives the statement to in sleep talk. We don't want them in beta. We don't want them in delta. So it's but yeah, I mean, it's really helpful explanation to tell people that's how we're in that all the time, all throughout the day, because we zone out of what somebody's saying. We can't help it. We just do, you know. And so many people, they don't understand that they're in hypnosis pretty much a lot of the time during the day. That's all it is. When you're watching a movie, you're in hypnosis because you're utilizing your imagination, focused attention, utilizing your imagination, bypassing the critical faculty. And yeah, you're there. You're crying, you're getting scared, you're doing all those things.
Absolutely. And I believe you are the guest of honor on the Hypnosis Hero podcast this week as well.
I know. 10:30 my side. I know.
Yeah.
And then I've got to be up really early as well because I'm doing an expo on Saturday for a Mother's Day thing, and I'm a speaker there. So there's about 300 people going. So that'll be So I'm getting all my bits, all my brochures ready, and all my things. My new ones arrived today, so I'm quite excited. So
I love the prep work for, especially for expos and for trade shows and that type of thing. It's always interesting to get all that stuff prepared and ready. I never feel ready enough for them. But I do love that part of it.
Well, give me some advice, please, because it's my first one.
Is it like a trade show? Have you got a stand there?
She's got tables. It's I mean, there's lots of other vendors, if you like. People. I'm the only hypnotist. There's doctors, but I mean, there'll be people set. I don't know, all sorts of. There'll be people doing cookies and all sorts of different stuff. So she's got a table. I've got tablecloths. I've got an easel. So with a big thing, and I've stuck on my what are they called? Those all the little squares. I've got my mind's gone funny. Where people can just do their phone QR code.
QR code.
Got there. The little squares.
A little square, yeah. You're right. They are little squares.
They are little squares. Okay. Yeah. So I've got that taking a photograph so that they can get that and get my free guide with my relaxation recordings, so I can get their email, of course. What else?
I could give, and I do see a lot of people at trade shows. Make sure you're at the front of your stand, in front of your table, so you can talk to people. A lot of people like to stand behind their stand or behind their table, and it puts that barrier between you and the potential people. The people that are there want to talk to you, but are scared to talk to you. So being at the front, it just makes it more approachable. But whenever I do stuff, it's always being there, and I can almost look at the stand, which guides them to the stand, and then I can ask them if they've got any questions. So I found that to be really helpful. And the amount of people I see stood behind their stand trying to look professional, which it acts as a bit of a barrier to stop the people from wanting to speak. So
yeah, great. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Sweet. Give away
Yeah.
sweets. That always works.
Yeah, I've got sweets. I've
Yeah.
got my sweets. Got my taffy. It's called taffy for the kids and
Nice.
night chews, and I've got York mints for the
Oh,
adults because I like those as well.
Nice. Well, I think we're almost at the end of today's show. Thank you very much, both yourself and for Pete, for joining us. It's like a Heartlands reunion. This we should have started Natalie on here as well, but with the full gang all on. And do check out Hypnosis Hero podcast, which will be live at what time is it? Your time?
So, well, I'm on Eastern, so it's 10:30. I know it'll be 3:30 in the morning for you in
3:30
England.
in the morning for me, yeah. So I'll try and jump on because I do love it. It is a great podcast, and Sean will be there as well. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining us this week. We're back every Thursday at whatever time this is, wherever you are, for Hypnosis News, which is conference news, talks, tips, tricks, and all of that stuff as well. And do check out the Hypnosis Hero podcast. So for me, Claudia, from Peter, and from Sean and Jim, who is currently got a mouthful of cotton wool, take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And you are naughty. I don't know if you're still on. Are we still on? Or is it just you and me?
I think we're still on, but I think we might